everyone. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. My name is Mindy Banks. I'm the Flip Flop Chef. Welcome to my online Friendsgiving party tonight. I'm really excited to share some fun recipes with you guys and excited about Thanksgiving. So I hope that you'll try some of these. I'm gonna also share one of my favorite Christmas recipes that we have at our house. It used to be something I made pretty much only on Christmas Eve, but over the years, and as much as my kids love it, we make it a lot. So way more than just on Christmas Eve for Christmas morning. So I'll share more about that in a few minutes. I'll give you guys a chance to come in. I do want to let you guys know that in December, I will not be doing a live event like this, but I will be back in January. So my planned date as of now for my 26th anniversary will be on January the 12th. So make sure that you mark that on your calendar, January 12th at 8 p.m. I don't see any reason why that date won't work, but that's the date that I've chosen as of right now. And I want to announce our winners. So if this is the first time that you are joining one of my live events, when you pre-register for the events, you're entered into the giveaways. And so I have 4 winners tonight, and I have 4, medium to not to large size prizes for you guys. And those will be mailed out sometime this week. I'm not sure if they will go out before or after Thanksgiving. I need to get one more box. So I am excited to share these. So let me go ahead and announce the prize winners. So the milk frother, Michelle Bisbee, you are the winner of the milk frother. And if any of the winners tonight have never shopped with me, then that means I don't have your shipping address. So make sure that you just send me a text or an email or a message on Facebook and just let me know where to ship your gift. So the milk frother is for Michelle Bisbee. The cold brew pitcher is for Terry Harper. The electric pop and stir is for Deb Schneider. And the plastic mixing bowl set is for Shirley Graham. So those are the 4 winners for tonight. We are gonna dive right in. I'm gonna show you 4 recipes. All of them are very quick and easy. In fact, the first one I'm gonna put in the oven and hope that you get to see the end result at the before we finish up tonight. I don't see any reason why we won't be able to do that. And then I'm gonna show you 3 others, super quick, super easy. I've already pre-baked one of them, so you're gonna be able to kind of have that magic of TV where I show you what it looks like when it goes in the oven, but I already have one ready for you to see what it looks like when it comes out. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make Land of Nod cinnamon rolls, and you're gonna see this in backwards order because this is a recipe that you make while you're sleeping. So I started this after church today, and I let these dinner rolls rise for about 8 hours. So I'm gonna show you what the step is in the middle, and then I'm gonna show you how to put it together. So we're gonna kind of work in reverse order. You wanna use a towel that you don't mind getting cinnamon on it in case it stains your towel. But underneath here are my Land of Nod cinnamon rolls. So I haven't touched these since since I got home from church this morning. So you can see how nice and poofy these are. I do recommend that you take a fork and just sort of pop these down. I don't know if everybody would agree with me, but I don't want a big mess in my oven. I don't want to smell burnt cinnamon. I've had that happen before. If you have ever had cinnamon burning in your oven, then you know it's a terrible smell, and I don't want to stink up my kitchen. I'm actually gonna wipe off this tray. I've actually burned cinnamon once in the bottom of this. I put on top of my stove after it leaked and burned, and it's still there. So we're gonna put this on here. I'm gonna show you how I got to this step, but I'm gonna put this in the oven. I'm gonna go ahead and set my timer here. Let's see, timer 1. We don't sell this anymore. Oops, let's see what's going on here. We're gonna do this for about 25 minutes. Let's see, go. Oh, I don't know, I think the battery's dying. Let me use my phone. Hang on, it says Pampered, not perfect, right? I'm gonna get cinnamon on me from the very get-go. Let's do 25 minutes, and I'm gonna label this because I'm gonna have 2 timers. So cinnamon roll. So let me put this in the oven. I have it preheated to 375, so stay tuned. Let me come right back. Okay. So how did we get there? I'm gonna show you guys. So I've got another fluted pan. I wanna thank my next door neighbor, Sue. She loaned me her pan so that I had 2 of these so that I could show you guys from start to finish. This is a recipe that I get so many questions about, and it's funny to me how some of the easiest recipes tend to produce the most questions because people don't know what to buy. And usually Christmas Eve, a few days before Christmas, I get so many texts asking me about this recipe. So I wanted to make this video and show you guys exactly what you need to do so that you can make this. It is so easy. It takes less than 5 minutes hands-on time. And then you put it on your stove before you go to bed. In the morning, you put it in the oven, you bake it, and it's ready to eat. So we're gonna take our fluted pan. These are nonstick pans, but I always grease my pans because I don't want anything to stick. Our great twisted clips are perfect to close up these bags of rolls. Okay, so this is what you need to get. And I'm gonna zoom in because this is probably the biggest question that I get the most. So these rolls looked like they are baked on the package. But inside, you're gonna get these, they're dough balls. They're actually not baked yet. They're like rocks. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put half of a bag, which is what I have left in here. I'm gonna try to not make too much noise here because I already made one batch, which you guys saw me put in the oven. So it's really great. You can use one bag to make 2 batches at once or for 2 different days. All right, so these are Rhodes dinner rolls. I have been able to buy these at Walmart here in Florida and also in Georgia. I bought these at Kroger before, but if you have a Kroger, I don't have a Kroger near me, only Kroger delivery now. If you can find these dinner rolls in Kroger brand, I actually like their brand better than Rhodes brand. So that's something to keep in mind. I do not know of any other brand or any other store that offers this particular product. That doesn't mean that that's not out there. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It just means that I don't know about it. So this is the first step. The second step is we're gonna take 1 cup of brown sugar. So I've got my bulk food container here, and I keep in my brown sugar one of our 1 cup size stainless steel measuring cups. And I'm just going to pack in 1 cup of brown sugar. I was gonna say powdered sugar. And I'm gonna just sprinkle this around just like this. And you wanna cover these rolls, okay? And then I'm gonna wash my hands and we're gonna get the rest of this together. And this batch will not be ready to bake until tomorrow morning. So I'm gonna have to get up early to bake these because I have to be in St. Petersburg really early in the morning. So, all right, I've got 2 cinnamons here because one of them is almost gone. We're gonna need 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. We're also going to use, I use instant pudding powder. I use vanilla. I've had people tell me they like butterscotch. I've had people tell me they use cook and serve. I've always used vanilla and I've always used instant. And again, you're gonna be able to get a couple of recipes from one package. So use a little Twix-It clip to cover that. And we need about 1/4 of a cup. There's just a tiny bit more in here. So I'm gonna just sprinkle the little bit that's extra. Actually, I'm gonna leave it in there. It's a little bit more than I thought when I peeked in there. But just know, everything doesn't have to be exact for this particular recipe. The next thing I need to do is I need to put the cinnamon on the top. This is Pampered Chef's Karenji cinnamon. It's an Indonesian cinnamon, which is preferred by professional bakers, and me too. This is a product that we only carry October through December, or while supplies last, so we don't carry it the rest of the year. I hope that's a trend that Pampered Chef continues with because I always stock up. You can get the cinnamon, the vanilla, and the cinnamon plus. The cinnamon plus, which I obviously did not grab, I apologize. It has a few other things like nutmeg, orange peel, cloves. Trying to remember all the ingredients in there, but the cinnamon plus is basically a pumpkin pie spice or an apple pie spice. All right, so we've got our dough balls, we have brown sugar, the vanilla pudding powder, and the cinnamon. I went ahead and took my microwave egg cooker and I have melted 1 stick of butter in here. And I'm just gonna drizzle this butter all over the top. And then I'm gonna take another towel that I don't mind getting dirty. If I get cinnamon on this, it's going to be okay. So I'm going to take this towel and I'm just going to wet the towel. It doesn't have to be warm, but warm does help. And we're going to just cover this just like this. And you put it, I just put mine on my stove. So that's where I'm going to put it right now. And it is going to Basically, all those yeast rolls are going to defrost, and as they defrost, the yeast is going to make them rise, and that's how we're going to get that big bubbly result that I had. So I can't wait to read the comments. I'm going to be checking all your questions at the end. So if you have questions, just put them in the chat and I will get to those at the end. The second thing that we're going to make is we're going to start some candied nuts, and we are going to do that in our electric pop and stir. This takes about 9 minutes to make, and if you don't know about our electric pop and stir, it does have cord storage on the bottom, but I went ahead and unwrapped it. This bowl right here is for using the pop setting on the pop and stir. So you can make popcorn with this. When you're popping popcorn, you do want to take the little cover off. This is where you can put some butter pats if you want to add butter to your popcorn. The steam from the popcorn popping will melt the butter on top of it. And then when it's done popping, you just stick this piece back on and you're going to flip this over with the tray and dump your popcorn in here. I'm not going to be using this because we're not making popcorn, so I'm going to set it aside. We are going to make it. I need to grab a scraper here. I realized I didn't have a scraper for this. This is our plate, and you'll see that there's a little metal arm that's going to rotate around. So I'm going to plug this in, and we're going to add our ingredients. So we're going to add 1 cup of pecans. You can use whatever nuts you like. So I'm going to just put these on right on the top, just sort of spread them around. I'm going to take half a cup of sugar, which I pre-measured in one of our 1 cup prep bowls. Half a cup of sugar. We're going to do 2 tablespoons of water. I measured in our little 1/4 of a cup easy read measuring cup. I need, my hair keeps getting in my face today. I'm going to need 1/2 tablespoon of ground cinnamon, and I'm not sure if I can get enough of that out of there. So I'm going to open up another bottle real quick, and I'm going to combine these. Then we're going to add some vanilla and some salt and get this going. And while it's going, I'm going to show you how to make a pumpkin praline caramel pie, pecan pie. I think that's what I named it. You guys, I come up with these things and I don't even remember what I name them. So I'll read the recipe in just a second and tell you. Whoops. Okay, I give up on that. So we're going to add 1/2 tablespoon. And if you're not familiar with our stackable measuring spoons, this is actually a gift you can get tonight when you spend $90 or more. And I love that we have a 1/2 tablespoon measurement in the set, right? So easy to use, easy to get in there. We're gonna do 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Now our vanilla extract comes in this bottle, and for a fun fact, this is the longest product name in Pampered Chef history. Double strength Madagascar bourbon pure vanilla extract. And no, I can't say that off the top of my head, I need to read it. But this is a product we carried for years, and like the cinnamon and the cinnamon plus is now just a seasonal holiday item from October through December. This is a 4-ounce bottle. It's equivalent to 8 ounces because it is double strength. You can choose to use half as much as the recipe calls for, or you can use the full amount, and it just gives that nice burst of vanilla flavor. These are made from Madagascar vanilla beans. We use twice as many beans, and so that's what makes it so amazing. I have my vanilla in one of our oil and vinegar dispensers. You choose what you want, oil or vinegar, or in this case, vanilla. I also use these for my coffee syrups, like the flavored syrups I put in my coffee. And there's a little rubber piece on both sides. You just press this little button. I'm gonna do about 1/2 teaspoon, so I don't need very much. Because it's double strength. And then we're gonna put a quarter of a teaspoon of salt on here as well. I couldn't decide if I want to say 1/4 or a quarter, so you got both. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn this to the nuts setting. And what's gonna happen, I'll let you guys see real close here. I don't wanna tilt it too much, but this is just going to cook those nuts and stir them. So the sugar and the cinnamon and everything is gonna melt. These are gonna start to look really wet because that sugar is melting. If we see clumping, I'll just take a scraper and I'll keep those from clumping around the edges. And then when they're done, I will dump them on a parchment paper lined sheet pan, which I have ready right here. So I have a piece of parchment paper. I'm just gonna put this here and we'll be able to put the nuts on there when they are done. To show you the finished product, I already have a batch ready, or part of a batch. So you can see these are nice and crunchy. They are coated in this sugar. It is delicious. And I have used these in a couple of the recipes. So tonight, what I want to show you guys is how you can make the Land of Nod cinnamon rolls just the way that I've always made them. And then there's a twist, which I think I've decided not to put the toppings on, only because my family prefers them without the toppings. But there is a picture, if you pre-registered, you got the recipes from me that show you how this looks. But at the end of the Land of Nod cinnamon roll recipe, when you dump it out, you can drizzle homemade caramel on the top and put some of these candied pecans right on the top of there. So if that's something that you would like to do, that's one way that you can use these. I also have these on my pumpkin pie. So let me set these aside. I am gonna need those when I make the second one. So let me go ahead and show you this pumpkin pie right here. And this is on Pampered Chef's cake pedestal, which I really like because you can use it as a cake pedestal this way, or you can flip it over and you could actually use it as a tiered stand. If you wanted to put cupcakes or something on here, you could certainly do that. Now, my pie is still partly frozen, and I will tell you that before I froze it, I did pour caramel on the top and I drizzled around the edges. If you didn't see the finished product picture of this, I made this maybe 10 days ago, a while ago, and it's been in the freezer and I'm dying to taste it. I was hesitant to put the caramel on the top before I froze it, but I really needed the photo to show you guys what we were gonna make tonight. And so I went ahead and did that. So an idea, haven't tried this yet, you could take a kitchen torch and you could kind of melt this on the top. I probably won't do this. I'll probably leave this just as it is. And on the second pie, I'll actually pour the caramel on right before I'm ready to serve it. So what I did here was I baked the pie according to the package directions. And we're gonna cheat, we're gonna use a package of pumpkin or a can of pumpkin pie mix. I'm gonna show you how to do everything except decorate it because it'll take about an hour or so to cook. We're not gonna be together that long tonight. But the last 20 minutes of baking time, I took this out of the oven and I added this rim of the candied pecans that I made in the pop and stir. And then I put it back in the oven to finish baking. After it had completely cooled, I poured, I drizzled caramel on the edges and then poured caramel in the middle, and it looks amazing. So like I said, can't wait to try this. Perfect time for Thanksgiving. I will probably try some of this tonight, and the rest of it we'll just save until Thursday. And I have another pie that we're gonna make, and I'll be able to give that to someone else. So let me set this over here, and let's make our pie. Now, I wish you could smell my kitchen right now because it smells amazing. So these right now, it's just melting and you can kind of see it bubbling a little bit, and they're not really clumping around. I'm gonna try to keep an eye on that. If they start to clump, then we'll move them off of the side, but we wanna get to kind of a crummy, like a dry sugar stage here, so that when they do completely dry, they're gonna be nice and crispy and delicious. All right, so let's see. I need to roll out my pie crust. So let's do that first. And I meant to take my crust out of the fridge a few minutes early, but that's okay. We'll make it work. So if you did not see my post in my recipe community on how to make bulk pie crust using the deluxe stand mixer, I highly recommend that you go and check that recipe out. It's my mom's recipe for moist pie crust. That's how you'll find it. Just go to theflipflopchef.com, look at the button at the top of the page for my recipe community. Once you're in the community, you can just use a search feature for anything I'm sharing with you tonight. And for that recipe, you just type moist pie crust. Maybe if you type pie crust, you'll probably get that, but you might not get as few results. But this is my mom's recipe, and I show you how to make a half batch in the deluxe stand mixer on my YouTube channel. I'm gonna take my pastry mat, and I'm turning it this way today, just for space sake. I'm gonna sprinkle some flour on here, and we're gonna roll out our crust, and I'm gonna sprinkle some more here so that I have it for my hands, and if we need more, then I can actually just flour my hands like this, okay? So we're gonna take our pie crust. This was previously frozen. I transferred it to the refrigerator this morning so that it would get, so I could thaw it out. I'm just gonna cover this both sides with flour, spread this around. I'm gonna take my tapered rolling pin, and I'm just gonna slowly roll this, trying to keep it into a circle. In the video on my YouTube channel, I do show you how to roll these out ahead of time and put them in parchment paper, roll them up in parchment paper. I have gone back to doing just the dough balls in a plastic bag, simply because it takes up less space, and it's a little bit faster for me on that prep day when I'm making the pie crust. I got 14 crusts. I kind of weigh these out to about 10.5 ounces per crust. So, all right, so we're gonna get a nice size crust here, and I will tell you, I was really pleased with my crust on the pie I just showed you. Let's see if I can duplicate that again. I feel like making pretty pie crusts are not my specialty. I'm gonna take this, set it here, and just, so if you notice, I just folded that in half and then folded it into a quarter. And I'm just going to go around and sort of try to make the edge of this pretty, but like I said, I'm not super concerned about it being overly pretty. I just want it to taste good, right? All right, we're getting, I didn't set a timer for those nuts, but they are, yeah, I'm not good at this. I need to take a pie making class so I do a better job. Sometimes I feel like I do okay. I always blame the crust, right? Sometimes the crust feels like some pieces are thinner, some pieces are softer. All right, and then I'll set this aside, and we're gonna get our filling ready to go. Let me move a few things around, and then we're going to, I'm gonna set this over here so I can dump it a little bit later and not make too big of a mess with the flour. All right, our nuts are almost done, so stay tuned on our pie coming back together. So I want this to be a little bit drier. So while we wait for that, let's get our pie ingredients together. We're gonna use a can of pumpkin pie mix, and I've got all of our ingredients, excuse me, ready to go. Praline caramel pumpkin pie, that's what I named this recipe. All right, now we are kind of at that dry stage. Let me find my, I thought I put them out, I left them over here. Okay. This is kind of a stay cool thing here. Let me zoom in, let me show you guys. But I recommend that you still use these just because the plate on the bottom is hot and I don't want you to burn yourself. So it also gives me an extra free hand to do that. But I'm gonna take this and I just dump them on here. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run water over this because I don't want it to crystallize too much and be hard for me to clean. So I'm just gonna run a little water in there. I'm gonna spread these out. And now we have some more candied nuts here. And let's see. I'm gonna unplug this, move this out of the way, and I'm gonna turn my fan on, you guys. I forgot to turn it on. And I need it because I get hot in here. Okay, we're gonna take our can of pumpkin pie mix. I always find it funny when I see recipes for pumpkin something and it'll say can of pumpkin, not pumpkin pie mix. But for today, we are using the pumpkin pie mix. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my smooth edge can opener. This is how you attach the can opener. It goes right on the top like this. You're gonna twist all the way around until you bypass your starting point. This can has two sides that look the same. We're gonna go all the way around. Once you get the hang of this, you're gonna know what it feels like. But that tension is gonna release. It kind of jumps. You turn counterclockwise, and then there's a little button on the side that gives you the opportunity to kind of grab this and then toss it in the garbage. We need 2 eggs. So 1 can of the pie mix, 2/3 cup of evaporated milk, 2 eggs, and 1 pie shell. So we're gonna take our 2 eggs, add them in this prep bowl here. We're gonna whisk these, break the yolk, and just whisk them. So I can't remember who won our plastic mixing bowl set. Shirley Graham. So Shirley Graham won the plastic mixing bowl set. This is the middle-sized bowl. I think it's a 3/4 bowl, and it's part of the set. All right, and then we need, did I say 2/3 cup of evaporated milk? So I've got some leftover evaporated milk. So if I buy this in a can, and I just stored the rest of it in here, I think I'm gonna have just a tiny bit more than I need. So I'm gonna measure that out. Oh wait, hang on. I said 2/3, didn't I? I think I measured a little bit more. Let's see, now I can't see through there. That's the most beautiful thing about this is I don't have to look through the side. Hang on. Okay, 2/3, I measured 3/4, so a little bit more than I needed 2/3 cup of evaporated milk. Whisk this in with the eggs. Then we're gonna take our pumpkin pie mix, okay? So this is not just canned pumpkin. This has all the spices. You, of course, can buy a can of pumpkin and add the cinnamon plus and follow those instructions. But I wanted to show you guys how you can make this super easy for Thanksgiving. So we're gonna whisk this together, and then we're gonna pour it in our pie crust. And then I'm gonna show you the very last recipe is our apple cider sangria. And we have 4 minutes left on our Land of Nod cinnamon rolls. I think I'm most excited about showing you guys how to make those because it really is one of my family's favorite recipes. We could eat cinnamon rolls every day over here. So, all right. So we're just gonna get this nice and smooth. See how easy this is? And if you use a store-bought crust or you buy or make your own crust, even easier. So we're gonna pour this in. All right, take my scraper. Child cheater, that's what my grandma called these scrapers, because you know everybody's kids want to lick the beater or lick the scrapers after you make a cake mix or brownies. Well, she had 9 kids, so how do you choose which kid gets to lick the scraper? I told her she should just lick it herself. That's what I would do if I had 9 kids. If I had 9 kids, I wouldn't probably be here with you guys tonight. Okay, so this is gonna go in the oven. So the instructions, I'm following the can. So you can follow the can, whatever can you buy, you can follow those. You're gonna preheat the oven to 425, bake it for 15 minutes. So let me put this in. Oh wait, I'm gonna put this on this pan. And the reason I'm doing this is to make it easier to get in and out of the oven when I need to put that rim of pecans. So let me see if I can get this in the oven without spilling it over. Oh, I almost made a mess. Okay, let me set a new timer, and then we're gonna make our sangria, and then I will take out my Land of Nod cinnamon rolls, show you guys what to do with those. Easy peasy, right? Okay, so I have 2 minutes left on that. Let's see if I can get this mostly done before those come out. So for our apple cider sangria, the first step is you're gonna take 1 cup of apple cider. So I bought this at Sam's. I love this actually. It's a delicious brand, so it comes in a gallon jug like this. You take 1 cup of that, and in here, I added a tablespoon of honey and 4 cinnamon sticks. I microwaved these for 1 minute, and then I transferred it to the fridge to cool off. I don't need the cinnamon sticks in here, so what I like to do is, you can do it either way. I think the recipe says to put them both in there, but if you wanted to strain them out, you can, but I'll do what the recipe says. It does make it look pretty. We're gonna pour that in here, and then we're gonna add the rest of our ingredients to this. So we're gonna add, let's see, 2 more cups of apple cider. My kids like to drink this just cold, just the way it is. I like to make hot apple cider in a cup, and I like to add caramel whipped cream on the top, and kind of like a gingerbread cookie. So we're gonna have a total of 3 cups of apple cider. And then we're gonna do a bottle of Pinot Grigio. You could use another white wine if you like. I'm gonna show you how to use our wine opener. So you're gonna take this little stand, put it on the top, give it a squeeze, twist all the way around, and it cuts. Oh, maybe that one didn't have it. It only has it on the top. It doesn't cover, it's only around the rim. It doesn't cover the top. Normally that's a foil cutter. You put this on the top, you're gonna press down, and it's going to press the down button rather, and you can see it takes the cork out for you. The other cool thing is it's gonna return the cork. Press the up button, and it's gonna give you that cork back. All right. My cinnamon rolls should be done. Let me stop that timer. We're gonna add this. And then I'll grab those out of the oven. We'll put some apple slices and an orange slice in here, and I'm gonna show you a fun way to serve the sangria. And of course, this is in our quick stir pitcher. I'll show you that in just a second. And you guys will be able to make this at home. So let me set that aside. Let me bring a trivet out. Let me grab our cinnamon rolls. They smell amazing. Oh yes. Oops. Wrong buttons here. Okay. So, the moment you've been waiting for. This is what they look like. And let me show you. You can flip this out on top of Pampered Chef's chip and dip tray. However, I find that it's a little hard to maneuver. I found this at Hobby Lobby, I don't know how many years ago, but it is the perfect size for this. So you can let this rest for a few minutes if you like, or you can just flip it right out. So I'm gonna just flip this out, and I'm gonna use my silicone oven mitts. I like it because I can grab the plate on the top, I can grab the pan on the bottom, I can flip this around. Let me move this over here. If you happen to have Pampered Chef's Simple Additions pieces, those were the white dishes that we sold, gosh, early 2000s, I'm gonna say. This also works great on, or fits perfectly on a one of the squares. Okay, I like to use a fork to just kind of grab this. What do you guys think? Look at this. Oh, looks amazing. And I'm gonna borrow this scraper. It has some cinnamon, the nuts. I use this on the nuts. We're just gonna scoop out. Hang on. I gotta hold this at a different angle. I didn't, my hand would not work that way. If you have any little pieces stuck, just slide those out. Okay. What do you guys think? Are you so excited now to be able to make the land of non-cinnamon rolls? And these microwave grips are dishwasher safe, so if they get dirty, you can just throw them in the dishwasher, you can rinse them off. But look how beautiful, whoops, this is. It's amazing, right? So if you want to add caramel, you can make caramel in Pampered Chef's Deluxe Cooking Blender, and you can sprinkle some of these candied nuts on the top. Because my family doesn't like it that way, I decided I was not going to do that. So if you want to do that, now you know how to do it. So let me set this aside, and then I'll come back, we'll finish the sangria, I'm going to answer your questions, and we will be all set. I want you guys to tell me in the chat which recipe tonight you're most excited to try, because I shared some really great things with you guys. These are all delicious, and we're going to finish up. I'm a messy cook. Anybody else a messy cook? I am such a messy cook. I just make a mess with everything that I do here. All right, so I'm gonna first take one of our, you can use the color-coded tomato knife. This is a color-coded steak knife. I'm gonna just slice this orange. And then we're gonna put most of these in our sangria. I'm gonna save one real pretty one. Oh, and here. I recommend that you put the fruit on top of this plunger because it'll hold the plunger down. So when you put this in the fridge, that handle is not all the way up at the top. Now, we'll save that. I'm gonna cut around the core of this apple. You could use an apple core if you want, but I don't have mine handy and I kind of want flat edges for this. I'm gonna take my quick slice and I'm gonna put this in here like that and slice the apple. I'm gonna keep a couple of those here. Put the rest of them in here to make it real pretty. And this is a recipe that you can make ahead of time because there's nothing sparkling in it. So you can make this the day before Thanksgiving, and it's also something that will keep in your refrigerator. So if you're not gonna be serving it right away, or if you're not gonna serve all of it right away, I do recommend removing or not adding the oranges until you're ready to serve it, only because they will add a bitter flavor. So we're just gonna kind of plunge to mix. Isn't that so pretty? Let me get some ice. Let's see, where did I put that? Let me get ice in here real quick. Okay. Now, I did make some blender caramel, that's what I call it. It's a fresh batch of caramel made in Deluxe Cooking Blender. It's only a few ingredients. You've got brown sugar, heavy whipping cream, butter, a tiny bit of salt, and some Pampered Chef vanilla extract. So I made this just a couple hours ago in here. It's still soft because I haven't put it in the refrigerator, but when you first take it out of the blender, it just pours like a very thin liquid, but it does thicken up. We're gonna make this into a fancy drink. I'm gonna take this wine glass and I'm just gonna dip just a tiny bit of that rim. Look at that. If you want to make it real messy, then you could certainly dip a little further. So I'll show you. If you dip a little further, you're going to have a thicker, messier rim. It's all going to depend on what you want, because remember, whatever's on the rim is going to go on your mouth when you take a first sip, right? So we're going to add some ice to this. Make a little bit of noise here. I'm going to try to not mess up the rim of the glass. And of course, as you can see, it's dripping down the side. So if you don't want a thick layer, then just dip it like I showed you at the beginning. So we're gonna add this in here. And I already put my cinnamon sticks up, but this would be a really nice way to garnish this. Would be to put a cinnamon stick and just stand it right up inside the cup. So this is our apple cider sangria. We've got our pumpkin pie in the oven. You won't see that because it's gonna take a long time. Let's see how much time. We have 5 more minutes before I have to lower the temperature. And I probably should have kept my pan out. So after that 15 minutes, I'm gonna lower the temperature. You don't have to do anything, you just change the temperature to 350 and bake it for another hour. Mine took almost 70 minutes, so just keep an eye on that. But for the last 20 minutes, you're gonna add those little brown sugar pecans around the rim. So let me see, did I forget anything? Let me find my phone so I can answer your questions. We covered a lot tonight in a short period of time. So let me pull up my feed here and let me see if I can get to the chat. Where is my chat? Here we go. All right, if you have questions, now is when you want to put them in the chat. I'm going to give you guys a few seconds to do that, and I'm going to go through. I'm going to answer any questions that you have. A couple of things. The shopping link is pinned at the top. This party will be open until Black Friday, so you have until it'll auto submit at 11:59 p.m. on Black Friday. So you can get all the Black Friday specials, you can get anything that's in the outlet, anything you need to shop for, replacement parts, anything, you can purchase it all on this party. And let's see, the recipes, I posted those in the chat at the very beginning, so hopefully you guys found that. If you pre-registered for this event, you should have everything in that one reminder text that I sent out right before the event went live. Let me go ahead and tell you guys a couple things. So if you register for the event, I'm able to send you a reminder, and I had to schedule them starting about 15 minutes sooner than the event started, because last month, and I think the month before, some of you guys weren't getting the reminder until after I'd already started live, and it's just a processing time, how long it takes for those text messages to actually get to you. So I started scheduling those to start going out at 7:45 so that you have, hopefully by 8 o'clock, everybody has received those text messages. You have the link to watch this replay if you like. You have the link to all the recipes that I shared, and you have the link to shop the party too, okay? And of course, everything you buy is gonna be back in time for Christmas. So let's go to the questions. Let's see. All right. It doesn't look like these are in order, so that is strange. Let's see if I can, I feel like maybe I have, normally these show me in order, and I don't think that that's it because I don't see some of the messages that I saw earlier. So if I don't answer your question in the next couple minutes, or if I don't get to it while I'm live, feel free to text me and I'll be happy to answer you guys probably tomorrow. But I use unsalted butter. So Bonnie asked if I use salted or unsalted. I use unsalted butter pretty much for everything. If you need to add salt, you can always just, if you need salted butter, you can just add a little bit of salt to the recipe. I like just having unsalted butter. Let's see. Hi, Terry. I hope you saw that you won. So Terry Harper, you won the cold brew pitcher. Let's see. Oh, Tracy, thank you for complimenting my crust. Probably the one I baked first is way better. And Regina, you're here. I'm so glad you didn't miss it. Let's see. Terry, I wish that cinnamon rolls had 0 calories too. So I'm going to tell you guys a funny story and give you guys time to type your questions. A couple times in my life, when I found myself like in really not great, situations, and my mom asked, well, what do you want me to do? And I'm like, would you make me homemade cinnamon rolls? One of those was when I took a test when I was going to Georgia State University, and it was like the test, I don't know what it's called. Probably don't even know if I passed it. I decided I didn't want to be a teacher after that, but I knew I didn't do well on it. And I was walking downtown Atlanta, and my mom was like, what can I do to make it better? I'm like, if you'll make me cinnamon rolls. So I decided that I call cinnamon rolls Good Day cinnamon rolls. So you don't have to be having a bad day to have them. And I wish they had 0 calories, but we'll pretend that the calories don't count. And so anytime I have had a bad day, I just make cinnamon rolls, and everything seems to get better. So Good Day cinnamon rolls. All right, so does the pie, Janice Burke asked, does the pie pan use the deep dish or the regular size crust if using store-bought, or just use the rolled style? So Janice, I don't know if the rolled style is considered a deep dish or a regular. I actually don't know. If you're buying a crust, I almost always buy the deep dish. The pie plate that we sell, so it's over here and one in the oven, it's not considered a deep dish. We used to sell a deep dish pie plate. I've made most of the recipes in both pans. The previous one we had was a true deep dish, and it is a little bit deeper, but most of the things I made in that, I can still make in it. It's just a little bit higher. But if you're buying a store-bought crust, I would buy the deep dish just to be safe. Okay. Cindy, what kind of bowl are you putting the dough into? I'm not sure which step you're asking about. If you want to type a question again and let me know, I'm not really sure. The dough went into the stone pie plate. Maybe that's what you're asking me. Let me lower the temperature. I have such a short-term memory, you guys. Did I say 375? I think, or 350. It's just because I questioned myself. So let me lower this temperature to 375. I'm sorry, 350. See, I told you I can't even remember that one. And then let me make a new timer here. So I'm gonna do 45 minutes, or no, what did I say, 50 minutes? And then I'm gonna add that crust, and then I'll put the, let it finish baking, and then when it's totally cooled, I can drizzle the edges with caramel and put a layer of caramel on the top. So, okay, back to our scheduled program here. Juanita, there is a way that you can save my recipes. Pretty much all my recipes are listed in my recipe community on Facebook. So if you go to theflipflopchef.com, click the button at the top of the page, it'll redirect you to my group. And Facebook does have a way that you can tap the little 3 dots in the top right corner to save a recipe. You could create a collection in your Facebook account for recipes. That's actually what I do, and I save recipes there, so that's the best way that you can save them. All right. Let's see. I know the rolls, the cinnamon rolls. You guys, I know you're all going to go tomorrow to buy those Rhodes cinnamon rolls to make those. That is definitely the showstopper for sure. So I usually just take a fork. You can slice the cinnamon rolls if you want, kind of like a pie. But they're, if you can imagine monkey bread, I hate comparing it to monkey bread because I don't really love monkey bread, and monkey bread is made usually with biscuit dough. And I like a true yeast cinnamon roll. But it's kind of like monkey bread in that it kind of pulls apart in those little sections, but they're bigger sections because each of those dough balls kind of gets to a big roll. So you can cut it if you want, or you can just take the fork and just sort of pull it off. Let's see. I'm looking for further questions. So if you have questions, put them in the chat. I knew the cinnamon rolls were going to be the showstopper tonight, and I had to plan ahead to make those, so I'm really thankful that you guys are excited about the cinnamon rolls. Okay, Susan, feel free to message me, and I'll see if I can help you figure out why maybe they didn't turn out for you before. They're awesome. Sarah, I love that you make the Land of Nod on the regular. Okay, let's see. I'm looking for questions. If you have questions, go ahead and put them in. The candied nuts, they really are so good. You can just eat them just as they are. So, Geraldine, I'm not sure what you asked about freezing. If you want to type that again and let me know a little more, I can try to answer that question. So, okay. Colette, the boys did not help me in prepping. Actually, tonight was not too hard to prep. The hardest part is my husband had a shoulder replacement this week, and so trying to make sure everybody's in the right places and everybody has the right things, that's been the biggest challenge around here today. But they do help me. Christian asked me 3 or 4 times, is there anything I can do to help you? And I was like, there really isn't, because I had most everything already ready. So thank you for caring about my boys and asking about them. So, all right, let's see. Yes, I love that you guys are going to make some of these for Christmas and for Thanksgiving. The recipe for the caramel in the blender is in my recipe community, and there's a video on my YouTube channel where you can make that. You can search caramel in either place, but you might get a broad result. I should have added it to the link of the recipe, so I'll try to remember to do that. And let's see. The cinnamon, is the cinnamon used exactly like regular cinnamon, or is it stronger? I don't know how to answer that in the sense that it's not necessarily stronger, but if you've ever had a Cinnabon cinnamon roll, it's the same type of cinnamon. It's an Indonesian cinnamon called Candied cinnamon. If you want to Google it, I'll spell it. It's K-O-R-I-N-T-J-E, and I have to cheat. I don't know how to say it. I don't know how to spell it. But it's Candied cinnamon, and that is the same cinnamon that they use in Cinnabon cinnamon rolls. I don't like Cinnabon anymore. They've changed something, but the cinnamon, as far as I know, is the same, but their rolls are not as good as they used to be. Patty asked me why I do not mix the dry ingredients together before putting them over the rolls for the cinnamon rolls. I don't know, Patty. You could probably do that if you wanted to. Somebody shared this recipe, actually my friend Lisa Wilson. I don't know if Lisa may watch the replay, but when I was early into Pampered Chef, she shared this recipe with me. I don't know where it came from originally, but that's how I was taught to make it, and so that's why I do it. And it turns out great every time, but you could certainly mix them if you want. I like that I just put everything in the container. I'm not having to dirty another bowl. Becky, to answer your question, that yes, you will be able to see that, and at the end, then you get the greatest at the end. Let's see. So yes, Susan, if you put the caramel sauce in the fridge, you do want to warm it back up. And I usually use, this is one of the little tiny prep bowls. We don't sell these anymore. But I usually take out what I want and put it in one of these and microwave it. And I like it because these are flexible. If you have our silicone prep bowl set, then this is half the size of the smallest one, but you could use the small one, and it's really nice and easy to drizzle. I wouldn't recommend heating all of it up, and you want to make sure that you store the caramel. I use this 3-cup square from the leak-proof storage container set. I like this, but you have to make sure that you seal it well, or it will crystallize faster than you would like. I love the caramel. I could just eat it with a spoon. Okay. Amy asked about Pampered Chef stainless steel chef's knife. Do you use it a lot? If so, do you recommend it? I prefer our forged cutlery. However, the color-coded cutlery is also fine, but the forged, which is the stainless steel chef's knife, is the knife that I use the most. So I highly recommend it. It's perfect for like sweet potatoes. I use it on sweet potatoes multiple times a week since I cook those for my dog. It's the best knife to just cut straight through those. I do recommend our forged cutlery over the color-coded because they're balanced. They are a heavier stainless steel, and they have a lifetime warranty. So they're just, everything about them is better, but anybody who has our color-coded knives is gonna tell you that they're amazing, and they can't imagine that you could get better than that. But the forged cutlery is even better than the nonstick. I hope that helped. So Terry, if you pre-registered, which I know you did because you're one of the winners, you should have received a text reminder from me before the party, and there's a link there for all the recipes. So I didn't send it to you in your email, but it is there in the link. So I hope that that helps you. Do the measuring spoons that I used earlier all fit in the spice bottle? So the adjustable measuring spoons, the tablespoon size does not fit in a standard size spice bottle. However, our stackable measuring spoon sets, which is the ones that I use and that you can get for free with a $90 order tonight, these will fit in a standard size bottle, even the tablespoon size, and they have not changed those. These are the same as they were from the very beginning, so I'm assuming you're talking about the adjustable. The tablespoon size and the adjustable set will not fit in a standard spice bottle. Yes, Tracy asked about the knives. If they are dull, can they be sharpened with a sharpener? Yes, they can. I have a knife, like a knife skills class that you can watch on my YouTube channel here, and I show you how to use our honing tool, which is only sold as part of our knife set. But if you know someone who can sharpen your knives professionally, that's really the best way to sharpen your knife. I take my knives to a farmer's market and I let them sharpen my knives while I chop. It's great. So for anybody in Sarasota or around here, I can help you with that. Let's see. So the reason the cinnamon rolls are called Land of Nod is because you're sleeping while the rolls rise. So I really had to plan today to make sure that those were ready to go in the oven. But yeah, Land of Nod, it just means that you make them while you're sleeping. Let's see. Amy asked what else you could use to make the cinnamon rolls and if you don't have the fluted pan. Years ago, I doubled the recipe and made them in the wok, but I don't recommend doing that. It took forever to cook them. You could probably put them in like a 9x13 pan and put the toppings on the top, but I haven't tried that yet. So if you try it, if anybody tries that, please let me know because I'd love to know. Terry, this apple cider that I got is from Sam's, and it doesn't have a brand on it, I don't think. It just says apple cider, 100% juice. It says from North American Apples. If you have a Sam's Club, that's where I got it, and I feel like it's better than some of the other brands that I buy. But really, when you're making it with the sangria, you're adding so many other things in there that it probably wouldn't make much of a difference which brand. Okay, so Tammy, I will copy the recipes again for you, and it's probably near the top, and I can't see all the comments from the very beginning, so I'm gonna post that again, and hopefully you will be able to find that. Let's see if I can get back to my questions. Let's see. I know I saw some more. They're not in order anymore. Let me make sure that I haven't missed something. Hang on. Okay. Okay, here, I'm back on track now. Okay, now we're back. So, thank you for the prayers for my husband as well. Juanita, I'm not sure, are the Rhodes Texas rolls different than what I used? What makes them different? I don't know. I don't know if I have tried those. Let's see. Lisa, I would not recommend that you use the fluted cake pan for the multi-cooker to make these cinnamon rolls because it's about half the size of that pan. And if you were on at the very beginning, you could see kind of how tall it is. You could try a half recipe, but I definitely would not try to do the whole recipe in there. But you could certainly try it. Let's see. Yes, Robin, if your house is cold, you do need to make sure that the house is warm enough. Normally that's not a problem here in Florida, but it got really, really cold here last night, and the temperature in my house was like 66 degrees, which felt amazing to me. The rest of my family was like, turn the heat on. You can tell we've lived in Florida a little while now, right? But I kept checking my rolls to make sure that the room temperature was warm enough. Thankfully, it warmed up during the day and the house got warmer too. But yeah, you definitely need it to not be a cold environment. I have not put them in the oven with the oven light on, but I hear people do that like with sourdough and other yeast bread. I would just make sure you put something underneath it in case they, rise over. And Marcella, I would agree. I think we need a new recipe book for the blender with caramel sauce and hot fudge. I wish we could come up with some more cookbooks. All right, let's see. The wine opener is charged with a cable, and a single charge will open 60 to 70 bottles of wine. I charged that today because I don't open that many bottles of wine here, and so I wanted to make sure it was fully charged. I probably haven't charged it in a year. I use it at my parties more than anything. Let's see. You could put the cinnamon rolls in the round stone baker. I don't see any reason why you couldn't do that. If you try that, please let me know how it turns out. They may take a longer cooking time because they don't have that post in the middle. So that's the thing you have to keep in mind when you're cooking them in other. And Susan, I don't know. Maybe because you used a cast iron pan. I honestly don't know because I haven't tried it in a cast iron pan. So with the sangria, Deb, if you can't have apples, I would just skip the sangria recipe. In my recipe community, I have a recipe for blackberry sangria, so I think that would be okay. I don't think any of it has apples in it. I do use a Monin blackberry syrup. You would want to just check all the ingredients. Anytime somebody's allergic to something, I always advise that. But it is a copycat recipe for Caraba's blackberry sangria. So if you like their sangria, this is a copycat version, and that's in my recipe community. All right. Any other questions? I'm gonna just give you guys another second here. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I hope you all have just a fantastic Thanksgiving. If you have not seen my video on how to cook your turkey overnight, I highly recommend that because it will free up your ovens for Thanksgiving Day. You cook your turkey starting in the afternoon the day before, and you finish it and take it out in the morning. Transfer the meat to like your Rock slow cooker stand or another crock pot to keep it warm until you're ready for Thanksgiving meal. And it's the most tender, most juicy, delicious turkey you'll ever make. And if you just trust me and try it once, you'll never go back to making a turkey the other way. If you do not have my Thanksgiving Day recipe link, it's in my recipe community. I show you how to make the turkey. I've got recipe for Southern cornbread dressing, and people, I've got a lot of questions about this. So dressing is not the same as stuffing. So if you like stuffing, where you actually stuff the bird, I'm not the person to teach you how to do that because in Georgia, where I grew up, we didn't eat stuffing, and we eat cornbread dressing, which is delicious and amazing. And I highly recommend that you try it. If you're a stuffing person, just try the Southern cornbread dressing. Tell me what you think. I think you'll love it. I have recipes for some baked green beans, several cranberry sauce recipes, sweet potato souffle with marshmallows or with a like a pecan oatmeal topping. You can pick the one you like. I like it with the pecans and oatmeal. Keith likes it with the marshmallows. So, you know, we do half and half over here. I love everything I shared in that Thanksgiving Day recipe guide. Will help you if you don't know what to make, but don't forget to take your turkey out of the freezer. So especially if you're cooking it on Wednesday, it should already be out of the freezer unless you have a really small one. And I also recommend that you put some paper towels or a dish towel under your turkey so that as it defrosts, it doesn't get all the juices on your fridge shelf. So let's see. Excuse me. Yes, the cards will not be charged until the party is automatically submitted on Friday. And your order will be locked, so everything in your cart will be secure. Let's see. Making sure that I don't have any... So Cassie, I don't really have a printable cinnamon roll recipe that I know of. Your best bet is to just copy it from the Facebook community into like a Word document and print it off. I did convert my website for several years where I had a printing option, but it cost a lot of money and it was really hard to maintain, and I was paying somebody to help me do that, and I found that people just like to have them on Facebook, and so I apologize that there's not a real print option for that, but if you copy and paste, that is going to be your best bet. Okay, happy Thanksgiving to you guys. Don't forget, mark your calendar for January the 12th, 26th anniversary party with me live on YouTube. I'm really excited about that. I'm going to have some big prizes to give away, and I will not be doing a live event in December, but stay tuned. I have something else fun planned in December, but it will just be all online, nothing, no live event to go along with that. I'm going to try to take some time off and to enjoy time with my family. So if there's anything I can help you with, let me know. And I hope that you guys have just a wonderful evening. It means so much to me that you guys ask for these events, you register for them ahead of time to let me know that you're interested and that you show up. It means so much to me to be able to look here and see how many of you guys are watching at the same time. So I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and